Okay, today I'm finally getting around to the lesson plan I planned several weeks back. So here we go. Okay, we have our gel plate in front of us. We got a brayer, of course. I'm going to use this in a bit. That's a catalyst switch. We got one stencil and some paints. You got a plethora of colors here, or paints, papers here. There's a rice paper, a couple of rice papers in there, cardstock, and I believe we have some copy paper.
You want to talk about a little bit about how much paint quantity you need down. First, I'm going to show you just the right amount. Now, started out a little bit thick on this. You'll see that in just a second. I pick up my camera and take a look at it. You can see that there's quite a bit of paint there. And I actually unintentionally fixed this without thinking about it. I said, well, there's too much paint. Let me roll some of it off. And so I did that. So what you're going to get here is what it should look like. I'm going to put down some paper. We're going to take a look at this. The quantity of your paint needs to be just right. It's the Goldilocks zone. And when it's just right, things work extremely well. You get a good clean print. Now let's take a look at this. You see, I got actually good coverage throughout the entire print. The little one side there is a little bit light, but that's probably just because I didn't have the open time I needed, but it's not bad. I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to try this again. I'm going to put down too much paint on this next one. Okay, so I'm going to put down quite a bit. And I actually had to force myself to do this, to put down so much. And I got a little bit of a goober in there, so I had to go fix that. But you're going to see here, that's quite a bit of paint. I mean, that's more than what I did on the last one. Now, I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm just going to intentionally leave it the way it is so you can see what happens. Okay, I'm going to do this really quickly. You get a good pull here. But the problem is that there's so much paint left down on this that you'll see it on the plate. So, yeah, it's fine. I can do a ghost print off of that, but there's also a lot of paint on that piece of paper. Now, it looks like it has great borders and what have you, but that's a problem because it's gonna take longer to dry. And if I had a different pattern on it or I used a stencil with it, it'd be smeared. So that's the reason why you want to pay attention to how much paint you're putting. I'm going to take a few seconds and pull a ghost print. Actually, going to put another layer of paint on top of this. The light blue had already dried. So I'm going to actually get a double pull here. And this one worked out really nicely. You'll see the end product here in a second. This is not part of what I planned for this lesson plan, but these happy accidents happen. Oh, it's probably my favorite pull of this entire session. Yeah, nice to have. Section, we're going to be talking about layers, drying time, and paper choices. Well, I'm going to show you as much as I can here, but basically, when you talk about layering, you need to make sure that your layers are dry before you add to. So what you see here is I did that wet on wet, so consequently I got a little bit of mixing. I'm using a cardstock with this one, and it's going to make a different choice, different outcome when you use cardstock. You get cleaner edges, but it also can cause some smearing. Your drying time, usually you want to give it at least a couple minutes in between each layer. So if you're going to put down layers, like with the stencil here, you're going to want to make sure this dries completely. Usually it only takes about 2 to 3 minutes, but you gotta give it the time in order for this layering to work. So I put down the base layer with the first one, which was kind of a mix between that blue violet and the sky blue, and I'm using this green. to put down a pattern with the stencil, I'm going to need to let this dry as much as I can. Now with this one, because the first layer was already done on the page, I'm going to pull this immediately because if this is wet, I don't have to add anything to the top of this to pull. So I'll pull this off and I'm going to pull the paper up and put it down immediately. The cardstock is really good for this. Now, I'm going to line this up as best I can. If we're going to use this for collage, which I could use this for collage, the rice paper would be much better because it tears easier and it adheres to whatever your substrate is nicer. So it's actually my preferred paper for collage. I could also use wet starch tissue, which you've seen me use in the past, or I could use you can use copy paper, but copy paper a little tricky. So yeah, you see we got a little bit of pattern there. I could use that. Okay, lacing and imperfections. Personally, I really love lacing. It takes me back to my roots of fluid art. But in case you don't like lacing and you can't embrace that imperfection, I'm going to create some here. I'm going to show you what you can do with it. You can see here that it's not a perfect picture. If you can go down and look at it, you have that lacing there. And there is a way to fix that if it's something that really bothers you. I learned this from Susan Clifton, who talked about it on her channel not too long ago. I'm going to take my catalyst wedge. I'm going to thin down my paint just a little bit. This is just for me because I want to make sure I can get a nice even coat on here. And I'm gonna go take that catalyst wedge and I'm gonna kind of like squeegee across the top of that green with the same green. And or you can use a contrasting color, but it gives you that opportunity to go in and if you don't like that imperfection, to fix it. So you can see I can get more of a solid look there. And I'll give you a closer look here in just a second. A few other things that you can play into the whole process. Look at the temperature and humidity. It can affect your working time, and it can also affect how wet things stay. I had some paint left over here and decided to go ahead and pull that. And because of the color differentiation and the fact that I used some slow dry on this, it affected the amount of the color value. So got two there. And that's my roll-off sheet. You want to save that all the time. We got to look at what else we had today. We got a series of some blues and some variations and some texture here. So we got 7 prints there. And that was an easy pull day. So honestly, if you want to approach this from a scientific point, you can keep a log and just keep track of how things go and how they work for you by keeping track of your temp, your humidity, and the type of paper you use. So we ended up with 7 clean poles here that could easily be used. So let's do a real quick recap of what we've done today. We talked about paint quantities, layering and drying, paper choice, environment, and lacing. You may want to take a screenshot of this so you have it for later. And as always, 9 out of 10 of prints can be saved. So always keep pulling because that next pull might be the best thing you've ever pulled. And if not, it's a learning process. It's paper. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I have an ask. We are so close. As some of you know, I have been creating content since 2020. And recently, YouTube announced that they're going to change the goalposts for monetization. Classic. But I'm choosing, instead of getting bummed out, to accept it as a challenge. I need my team's help, that's you, to help me clear it. So here's the play. Leave a like. Drop a comment. Even an emoji counts. And if there's even one person in your life that you think would appreciate or need this content, send it to them. Drop them a link. Maybe put it on your social media. Anything is going to help. That's it. That's the whole thing. No beg for money. No beg for anything other than a like, a comment, and a share. Anything you can do will help. I have until February 1st, so technically January 31st, to get this done and to go over the 4,000 watch time hour hurdle that I have going. So let's get this thing over the finish line. And as a bonus, I'll do a happy dance on camera, promise, once we do this. So, thanks. I appreciate it.
As always, I want to thank you all for being here today. I hope you got something out of this. Tune in for the next live. Should be in a few days, and I hope that I'll see you then. So, bye for now.